themselves and tonight's opponents with a victory under the Tuesday night lights. After their opening 4 games in this competition, Arsenal sit second in their group, 5 points behind table toppers West Brom and just 1 point ahead of Bournemouth, who also have a game in hand. The top 2 sides in each group advance to the last 16, so Kevin Betsy's side know that a win tonight will ease the pressure going into their final group game away to West Brom on Valentine's Day. But an experienced Bournemouth side stands in their way, hoping to spoil the party and book their own spot in the knockout stage. Well, thank you very much for joining us on Arsenal.com, the Arsenal app and Twitch as well. I'm Max Jones and I'm delighted to be joined by our Academy insider, Nick Brumsack. Nick, a different competition on show for our fans tonight, but it's a pivotal point in the group stage too.
Oh, absolutely, Max. This is a huge game for Arsenal tonight. Make no mistake about that. And I'm sure Kevin Betsy will be hammering that point home. In fact, he'll have already done it on the training ground in the lead up to the game. It's so important because if Arsenal want to progress to the last 16, then they quite simply have to win this game. The way Bournemouth have actually only played 3 matches, 1 less than Arsenal, 2 less than West Brom. So if Arsenal can take 3 points here, it means that they would go into that game, as you mentioned, against table toppers West Brom with their destiny in their own hands. So a really important evening tonight.
It has been a tough start for Arsenal in Group A. The opening day result against Southampton, a 1-1 draw, where Mika Biereth was required to rescue a point as Arsenal came from a goal down. Then, of course, there was the away tie between the 2 sides we're seeing tonight, Arsenal and Bournemouth. Zach Swanson scored inside the opening half hour, and then it was a 94th minute equaliser that Bournemouth were able to score to rescue a point for themselves. That was followed by a 4-1 defeat at home to West Brom. But then there's a confidence builder, a 3-2 win over Southampton, a late dramatic win that we've been used to seeing from this under-23 side throughout the course of this season in the Premier League too as well. They're a side that show lots of resilience as well, Nick.
Yeah, some absolutely remarkable comebacks when you look at what they've done so far this season. And look, that's a really good position to be in. Of course, this is the step before playing in the first team. So for these guys to get into that mentality and just to realise that the game is never done, even if you're 3 goals down in stoppage time, it doesn't mean it's finished. So look, Max, I think attitude-wise, they're in a good place. They've got some players on show tonight as well, Arsenal, who have had some experience when it comes to travelling with the first team recently, so they can see what's in front of them. They can see, that carrot's there, isn't it? And it's just about grabbing it, making sure your attitude is spot on and taking a chance when you get it. And I tell you what as well, Max, it's an under-23s game tonight, but make no mistake, Mikel Arteta and his staff, they will have an eagle eye on this game. So it's a really important opportunity, once again, for the young Gunners to showcase what they're made of.
We can see Amari Hutchinson just receiving the final few words from the referee, Savasiani, ahead of tonight's game. Let's run through the Arsenal team for you tonight as Kevin Betsy makes 8 changes to his Premier League Cup side that beat Southampton last time out. You can see that Arthur Okonkwo returns in goal. Masida Gungbo retains his place on the left side of Arsenal's customary back 3, alongside 18-year-old Zach Orr and Alex Kirk, who's returned from injury, fills the void left by Omar Rekic, who's on Africa Cup of Nations duty with Tunisia at the moment. Zach Swanson and Joel Lopez are at right and left wing back respectively, with a midfield 3 of Jack Henry Francis, Ben Cottrell and captain Amari Hutchinson. And then, of course, up front, the lively Marcelo Flores supports Mika Biereth. Plenty of regular fans are watching our stream tonight. We've already been inundated with comments on social media tonight already, Nick. For a newcomer who's looking at this Arsenal side for maybe the first time, who should they be looking out for in that starting lineup?
I think there's plenty of options there. Mika Biereth is having a really good first season, on the bench a couple of times for the first team recently as well. He joined from Fulham, where he's in exceptional form during the last couple of seasons. Marcelo Flores, as you alluded to as well, a really exciting forward player who likes to make things happen. And of course, Amari Hutchinson tonight, who's got the captain's armband as well, is another really exciting one for the future. And I'm sure will look to really drive at the heart of the Bournemouth defence tonight.
As I mentioned before, it's an experienced Bournemouth side that they're coming up against. 3 players in the starting 11 for Bournemouth have featured for Scott Parker's first team, including both centre-backs, Brennan Camp and Zeno Ibsen Rossi. Should be an interesting battle between them. their Biereth tonight.
Yeah, it's a really good challenge for Biereth tonight, actually. As you mentioned, Zino Ibsen-Robsey actually started the season in Scott Parker's team, and Brennan Camp's had his chance too. So, yeah, look, they've got plenty of experience, and tonight it's another really good chance for Biereth to show what he's made of against centre-backs who have that pedigree, who have played first-team men's football and know what it's all about.
That was Brennan Camp, the captain of this Bournemouth side, shaking hands with first Amari Hutchinson and then tonight's referee Savasiani. We're almost ready to go at Meadow Park. Just seeing Arsenal's number 10 there in the centre of your shot, Ben Cottrell. He's struggled with injury. He's been in and out of the team over the past 12 months or so. It's great to see him back in the side. He's a player who's full of creativity. He's not been too lucky in recent seasons in terms of the injuries, in terms of possibilities of going out on loan. I'm really excited to see what he's able to conjure up for this Gunners side tonight. Looks like then Bournemouth in the white and black will kick off. Only after both sides take a knee. Show that there is no room for racism. Here we go then. Bournemouth immediately looking into the... I do wonder, Nick, whether the wide areas are going to be key for both sides tonight. Looks as though Bournemouth are going to go 4 at the back. Arsenal, of course, playing 3 at the back with wing-backs. You get the sense that we're going to see quite a few crosses, I think. Bournemouth very attacking, very progressive when it comes to using their full-backs.
Yeah, and it's a good opportunity, isn't it, for the likes of Zach Swanson and Joel Lopez when you're playing with 3 at the back behind you. It just gives you that little bit more licence to get forward. It's important, though, for Arsenal that Alex Kirk and Mzila Gongbo on either flank make sure that they do cover in that space when the wing-backs go forward. Arsenal already here looking to press right from the front. We'll expect to see this all evening long, trying to win the ball back, as they have done there in the opponent's third, and win a good free kick early on.
Yeah, good work by Zach Swanson, leading the press from the right-hand side. As I mentioned, he was the goal scorer the last time that these two sides met, the 1-1 draw a couple of months back. What it does do is it's going to present Arsenal with an early opportunity to get this ball into the box, but you can already see Bournemouth are a very physically imposing side. Quite a few players look to be making that far post run. Will it be the in-swinging left-footed delivery from Amari Hutchinson? Maybe an out-swinger from Marcelo Flores' trusty right foot. Flores leaves it for Hutchinson. It's a deep one as well. Oh, haven't entirely cleared it. Kirk was underneath it, heading it back across. Biereth, and there's Flores. And just like that, Arsenal take the lead. Well, Bournemouth did not clear that at all. They didn't look anywhere near convincing enough in defence. And Alex Kirk, all he needed to do was just nod it back into the danger area. And it's dispatched in a really cool fashion by Marcelo Flores. Arsenal 1, Bournemouth 0.
Yeah, it's a really good finish from Flores. I must say, Bournemouth struggling to clear the set piece. Arsenal winning that crucial second ball. I think Biereth did really well as well, just managed to cushion the ball into Flores' path and then opening up his body. It's a fine left-footed finish, it really is. It's the ideal start for the Gunners. I like the celebration as well, Max. It's become his trademark, hasn't it? We often see him turn to the acrobatics when he scores.
It does bring his overall goal ratio to 1 every other game. 4 appearances at this level this season, 2 goals for Marcelo Flores.
free kick. And I say the quality of the delivery was good from Hutchinson, as you always expect. Arsenal might have some defending to do here, though.
They're happy to let that one roll out, man, all the way. The pass didn't find its intended target. You see the insistence of this young Arsenal side, passing it out. Two centre-backs inside the 6-yard box, pretty much, right next to Okonkwo. Plenty of options to find a pass. There's one of them, Agungbo, laying it into the feet of the goal scorer, Flores. Arsenal, though. Opportunity for Brooklyn Genesini to have the first touch of the ball. Now Brennan Camp can bring this ball out from the back, or so he thinks. More good pressing from Zach Swanson. Very encouraging as an Arsenal fan to see just how high these Gunners wing-backs are pressing. Just watching at the bottom of the screen, Zach Swanson floating into a midfield position, but Arsenal still do have it, or at least they did. The Veras pass was intercepted, and now Bournemouth can get themselves on the ball once more. So, the red and white shirts swarming players in white every time that they get possession. And again, it's Zach Swanson who gets a vital foot in.
Well, Max, it's 3 times in the first 5 minutes that Arsenal have won possession in Bournemouth's defensive third, and it comes from that tigerish counter-press, not giving the opposition any time at all to settle on the ball. I think the key thing is when you do win the ball back, though, it's then the case of just making sure your pass is precise as well, because he did have an opportunity there where if Biereth had managed to get his head up and find his man, they would have been in again. Really need to make the most of those opportunities and maximise them.
It's interesting to see what Arsenal's back line are doing. It's like John Lafoni do have 2 players in there, so every time that Alex Kirk or Mazid Agungbo receive the ball, it's almost like they're desperate to join the midfield as well. Saw Alex Kirk bombing on this near side. He didn't get the return pass. He's now back in position, and it off goes Mari Hutchinson. So he is barely tackled by Ben Greenwood, left back. John Lopez will be happy to watch this one trickle all the way out on the far side. It's an interesting competition, this one, for those of you who are new to the Premier League Cup. The reigning champions are Everton, who actually won the competition 2 seasons ago now. Such has been the delays and the postponements due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Didn't have a competition in 2020, didn't have one in 2021 either. The first season back in the Premier League Cup. It's also the first time that Arsenal have been involved in it since the inaugural campaign back in the 2013-14 season, where on that occasion the Gunners reached the semi-finals before losing 3-1 to Reading, who in turn lost the final 3-2 to Manchester City. So, new competition brings new rewards, And Arsenal have already shown that they're not content with just finishing in the group stage this season. They want to keep pushing, get themselves into the knockout rounds. Here's Christian Sadie. Danger man up front. It's a decent ball in as well. The acrobatic attempt didn't quite go to plan for Jake Scrimshaw. For Ben Greenwood's low effort was blocked out and behind for a corner.
Yeah, good defending from Zach Swanson. I think Arsenal would have been in big trouble there had he not managed to get his body in front of the ball. Christian Sadie, the first real glimpse we've seen of him. He's actually made a handful of first-team appearances already this season and has scored on his debut as well.
And it comes from Greenwood. It's towards the far post. Arsenal still haven't cleared yet. It will be a free kick to the Gunners, though, just inside the area. So I hope this one's not too serious. The right decision from Savas Yanni. Just making sure that it's not a head injury. It's Mazida Gungbo who's eventually back to his feet. Arsenal will get this one back underway with Arthur Okonkwo. An early sign, though, isn't it, Nick, that Ben Greenwood, the left-back for Bournemouth, is more than happy galloping forward on the left-hand side.
Absolutely, Max, and what that will do is open up the space, as you alluded to, for Arsenal's front players. I'm looking forward to seeing Murray Hutchinson get into that right channel, and of course Zach Swanson as well as the wing back to try and launch some counter attacks. Of course, look, first you've got to do your defensive duties, but they will leave space for Arsenal to counter. With the players Arsenal have, with the likes of Hutchinson and Flores, with the vision of Cottrell, could be very dangerous. Once again here, Bournemouth just not getting any respite at all, having to go long and losing possession again. It's really encouraging from Kevin Betsy's team. I'm sure the gaffer will be pleased with what he's seen so far. As again, Arsenal recover the ball inside the opposition's half.
Yeah, really good play from the Gunners, forcing Bournemouth into a mistake. Just like that, they've got possession back. There's Okonkwo under a bit of pressure himself. Into the feet of Ben Cottrell. Now Gungbo out to the left-hand side for Joel Lopez. Unfortunately, can't keep that one in play. Genesini will take the throw in. All the way back to Ibsen Rossi. As Nick was saying, he was in the Bournemouth first team for the first game of the season. Scott Parker quite clearly fancies him as a player. 7 appearances for the senior side already this season.
Yeah, I just wonder as well with Steve Cook leaving Bournemouth if that will open a door for Ibsen Rossi to come into the squad and feature on a more regular basis. Of course, the Cherries are hunting promotion back to the Premier League. It's pretty congested up there at the top of the Championship. Fulham are there, Blackburn Rovers, QPR as well, having an excellent season with Chris Willock at the heart of it. Of course, the former Gunner.
Picked up in midfield by Jack Wadden. To the right-hand side for Genesini again. So a bit more of him. Not able to progress down that right side, so back it comes to Aaron Roberts, the number 11. Now Brennan Camp. Greenwood. Ibsen Rossi again. Was actually an unused sub on a Premier League bench against Arsenal way back in October 2019, Ibsen Rossi. So he's been one on Bournemouth's radar, at least in terms of the senior squad, for quite some time. Academy experience at Brentford and Southampton as well. 21-year-old is certainly as much one for the present as he is for the future for the Cherries. Here's Greenwood. Trying to angle one over the top. Zakor was underneath it all the way. Good composure by Alex Kirk. And I'll tell you what, Jack-Henry Francis isn't a bad option to have in those tight areas. Seems to welcome the pressure. One of those players, Nick, who always seems to have an extra second on the ball.
Yeah, really is excellent in possession, isn't he? I have to say though, Max, I've been impressed with how Arsenal played out from the back in the opening, 13 minutes or so, because as you'd expect, Bournemouth have tried to press them and Arsenal have stood up to the challenge. When you're playing out from the back, you need to have that character, that personality. It's not always going to go well. You know, there are going to be times where you're going to come under pressure or where you even lose the ball, but Arsenal have looked really assured as a team, really, and that starts from Arthur Okonkwo. And yeah, of course, as you mentioned, when you've got the likes of Henry Francis there, it just helps you to alleviate that pressure.
Tariq Gidary going for a bit of a mazy run of his own from the right-hand side. He's a player who's desperate to impress tonight, especially against the opposition he's facing. Former Spurs Academy player. He was speaking to the Bournemouth official website ahead of the game, saying just how much he'd love to get one over on his former rivals. At the moment, he's not really been able to get himself into the action, but I'm sure as this game progresses, we'll be seeing a lot more of him. And then it's up to the young Gunners defenders to keep him quiet.
Yes, it's a really good opportunity actually for Tariq Gidary, because more often than not, he has played as a fullback, albeit a very attacking-minded one.
Again, plenty of pressure on the passing out from the back. Arsenal bypassing that brilliantly. It was given away by Zakur. Now it's going to come straight back at them again. Kirk heads clear, only as far as Christian Saidi. Now Hutchinson can take it into his path. You always expect something to happen when Hutchinson has the ball. He's dumped down fairly unceremoniously there, and it will be a free kick to Arsenal, perhaps even the game's first yellow card. Going to the Bournemouth defenders.
That's what Omari Hutchinson brings you, isn't it, Max? He manages to just get out of those tight situations and really progress Arsenal up the pitch. And in the end, Jack Wadham had no choice but to bring him down, and was late. And Savasiani, well, he was happy to go to his pocket and issue the first yellow card of the game. Such a dangerous weapon, isn't he, though, Hutchinson, because of the way he eats up the ground in front of him. The longer this goes on, and look, it's not going to happen before the break, but if Bournemouth still trail after, as we get into the second half, that's where Hutchinson really has then got that freedom to get forward and make something happen.
Well, delivery this time from the left-hand side. Flores it was. Hutchinson left it for the youngster who still hasn't chosen between Mexico and Canada. Could even play for England as well. He's played for them at schoolboy level. Marcelo Flores. Wealth of options available for him, and just know that the national federations are clamouring, trying to get his services for the future. He's not going to get forced into making a decision. Said he's just going to focus on his football for now. And let his feet do the talking, and they definitely are. Here's Henry Francis into Hutchinson. Rides a challenge. Swanson on the right-hand side now. Back to Kirk. Now, under pressure from Saidi. Well, he had to get that one right. Fortunately for the Gunners, he did so. Judged the weight of pass from Alex Kirk and just able to guide it into a gunboat. Now, here's Hutchinson. Bit of space opening up now on the left-hand side for Joel Lopez. Tried to fizz that one into the feet of Flores. Flores couldn't take it in his stride. Rolls all the way through for Will Dennis in the Bournemouth goal.
Yeah, and once again, Omari Hutchinson coming to the fore, receiving the ball, a lot of strength to hold off his marker, spinning out and finding the right pass. But just want to highlight the role of Arthur Okonkwo in that as well, Max. It was an excellent pass out from the Arsenal number one. Risky ball, but he took it on and was able to find Hutchinson. And with Bournemouth having committed so many players up the pitch, it meant that Arsenal had a really dangerous attack there. Good goalkeeping, Good distribution.
It's good to see as well. After Okonkwo bounced back with plenty of confidence after what was a tough start to life in and around the senior team with the pre-season friendlies in Scotland. Now as a goalkeeper, it's almost like you don't earn your stripes without making the mistakes, and he had a pretty tough afternoon on that occasion. But good to see that he's still willing to take the risks in these games, and that's how he's going to learn, how he's going to progress. I know that the coaches and the staff inside the Arsenal Academy rate him so highly. Secured a new long-term contract at the start of the season. He's been travelling all around with the first team squad as well, Okonkwo. Bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, and he has to continue with those risky passes, because look at the way that Aaron Ramsdale plays. And actually, Max, look at the number of attacks that the Arsenal first team have, which are started by Ramsdale. He's got fantastic distribution, hasn't he? Both from his hands and his feet as well. And something for Okonkwo to aspire to. And I'm sure that when they're on the training pitch together each and every day, they'll be learning really intently. He'll be watching what Ramsdale does. He'll be asking for advice from Bernd Leno as well, of course. Very, very talented group of goalkeepers that Arsenal have got. And when you're a young keeper, who better to learn from than Ramsdale and Leno?
Here's Joel Lopez. Well, Cottrell had carried his run into the midfield. In the end, it's blocked and behind for another Arsenal corner.
Yeah, just starting to see a bit more of Joel Lopez in an attacking sense now. It's twice in the last couple of minutes that he's managed to get down on the overlap with plenty of space. He thought his cross a couple of minutes ago was really good, and Flores couldn't quite get it under a spell. Maybe if he'd have got a shout to leave it, it might have actually ended up finding its way to Beereth, but let's have another set piece now.
Short this time into Flores, who goes down. And referee Savasiani not having any of that one. It's well held up by Hutchinson, although that's a short pass. Now Bournemouth have an opportunity to break away. It's Jake Scrimshaw. Good recovery challenge though by Zach Swanson. And now Arsenal have numbers back, and Agungbo's able to bring this one out of defence. Or back to Okonkwo. Zach Swanson has always been an option on this right-hand side. Teammates are doing an excellent job of finding him. And look, there he goes again, Arsenal's number 2. Powering forward on the right. Flores sticks in the middle. Really nice interplay between Arsenal's forward players. Now here's Hutchinson. Swanson's still there as an option to go short. Instead, Hutchinson twists, he turns. Manages to force a corner.
Yeah, once again, Harry Hutchinson's really come alive. What makes him so dangerous as well, Max, is the fact that he's so two-footed on that occasion there. Happy to go on his right foot and drill a dangerous cross into the 6-yard box. And now we'll take the corner with his left foot, as he did the free kick, which led to the opening goal.
It comes from Hutchinson. Headed only partially clear. Beereth will keep this in on the far side. Good body feint by Joel Lopez to retain possession. Now here's Orr. He touches for the 18-year-old centre-back. Now to Hutchinson. Again, so good on the ball. Bournemouth defenders don't know whether he's coming or going, twisting or turning. Flores. In field. Chance may have presented itself for Henry Francis. Free kick is awarded Bournemouth's way.
Yeah, it was good patient build-up from Arsenal, wasn't it? And in the end, Henry Francis just trying to shift inside his man and get a shot away, but dispossessed just before he was able to pull the trigger.
So if you are just joining us, firstly, welcome. Thank you for watching this game with us on Arsenal.com, the Arsenal app and Twitch as well. We're about midway through the first half. Arsenal taking a very early lead inside the opening 2 minutes. Marcelo Flores it was. He was able to calmly pass the ball into the net after Bournemouth failed to clear an early free kick. Since then, Arsenal have looked threatening, but Bournemouth have certainly come forward in numbers as well, yet to fashion a clear-cut opportunity themselves. Perhaps this could be the first one. Here's Aaron Roberts. Again, Greenwood up there with him. Ibsen Rossi. Across to his captain, Camp. Now Genesini. Loose from him. For a second there, it looked as though Joel Lopez was going to run free on the left-hand side. It has been pulled back, and it will be an Arsenal free kick on the halfway line.
Yeah, Brookman Genesini, another one who was named on the bench when Bournemouth met Arsenal in the FA Cup in 2020. Hasn't yet made his senior debut. He actually suffered a really serious injury when he was aged just 8, so it's good to see him out there and playing. He's fully recovered from it. Signed a new contract as well at the club last summer.
Bit of time now for Alex Kirk. I find it really interesting, Nick, is just how quickly the Arsenal players are filling the vacant positions on the pitch. You've got Alex Kirk occupying the right wing-back role here. Max Swanson inside, operating as a midfielder almost. Seems as though if Bournemouth were to go man for man, it'd end up being taken all over the pitch, because at the moment, Arsenal are interchanging at will.
Yeah, it's really fluid. It's been really enjoyable to watch. I must say I've been very impressed with Arsenal in this opening 25 minutes or so. Once again there, look, when they lose possession in the Bournemouth half, immediately they just surround the Cherries and win it back. I'm sure that Kevin Betsy and Mikel Arteta as well, Ken Mertesacker of course too, they'll all be really pleased with what they've seen so far. It's been a composed and assured performance against good opposition. You know, Max, you highlighted some of the players in the Bournemouth ranks who have played first-team football, the likes of Brennan Camp and Ibsen Rossi as well, Christian Sadie, Jake Scrimshaw too. So,
well, here's Hutchinson going for goal. It required a fingertip save from Will Dennis. Well, Hutchinson, we know exactly what he's capable of. Well, you can see why the Arsenal players are slightly confused here. Well, even from where we were, Nick, I think we knew that the goalkeeper Dennis got a hand to that one. That was destined for the roof of the net, actually.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see much of a clearer corner. It was a good save from Will Dennis. It's one you'd expect him to make just because of the positioning of the shot. But Hutchinson, who for me has been Arsenal's standout so far, once again getting into that space between the lines, and then he's got the guile and the speed to really cause a problem. Kabirov there, that's unfortunate. Had he got that under control, he'd have been clean through.
A nice bit of midfield craft by Ben Cottrell, who's quietly having a very effective performance. Here he is, the Arsenal number 10, good in tight areas. Gets it onto that left foot. Can whip in a brilliant pass. Now Lopez. Gumbo's all the way up there with him at the moment. Arsenal can afford to have the majority of their back line inside the Bournemouth half. Beginning to get a bit more of a chokehold on this game. What a pass that is, and it's a brilliant first touch by Hutchinson into BRF. They touched on. Flores couldn't get enough on his shot. It's a good stop by Will Dennis from close range. Another really good opportunity made by quick passing from Arsenal. They're right back on it again. Here's Swanson. Leaves it for Flores. Back inside for Ben Cottrell. He's dispossessed on the edge of the Bournemouth area. And there is a bit of respite for the visitors. They're able to just try to take a bit of the sting out of the game. But what a really, really good switch of play that was from Arsenal in the build-up to that opportunity, Nick.
Well, the whole move, Max, it just screamed Arsenal DNA, really, didn't it? An excellent pass. Hutchinson took it down so well. I really like Bieref's little touch as well, just to work the ball into the path of Flores. And it was a decent effort. Good save from Will Dennis as well. But good to see that variety to Arsenal's play, because they haven't really gone direct too often so far, but There backed himself to pick out a teammate. Was able to find him on the left wing, and again, Bournemouth really struggling defensively to cope with Arsenal at times.
There's a long ball, a bit more direct from Bournemouth this time. These are two passing sides. As Nick mentioned, it's very much in the Arsenal DNA to try to fashion those chances with quick possession. But it's Bournemouth as well. You forget about the work that Eddie Howe did to get this side to the Premier League. And that culture seems to have stuck with them ever since Scott Parker took the reins in the senior setup. Given away by Cottrell. Genesini. Now Camp. Under a bit of pressure by BRF. Look at Marcelo Flores closing down, leading the press for Arsenal. And they've won it back yet again, the Gunners. Tell you what, their ball recoveries tonight, all of the tackles that they've made in the Bournemouth half, I'd love to see those stats, because they've been all over the Cherries when they've been in possession. Here's Swanson. Happy to go all the way to the left-hand side. There's Cottrell again, trying a bit of disguise on the angled pass. Well read by Lino Ibsen Rossi. Again, Arsenal are able to recover it and go again. Bit of a rare touch for Arthur Okonkwo. Not really had too much to do in the last 5 minutes. Before that, he was under quite a lot of pressure. And the strikers closing him down. They're happy to stand off him this time, force him long. And Bournemouth get their foot back on the ball. Bournemouth, coincidentally, their head coach was a former player, Sean Cooper, who is assisted by former defender Tommy Elphick, who retired in August after helping Bournemouth win Premier League promotion back in 2015. Now their side have a corner on the half-hour mark, an opportunity to get those big defenders forward. You can see the number 6, Lino Ibsen Rossi, the tallest of all of them, making his way into the penalty area. A couple of players on the edge of the box, Tariq Gidary, Jack Wadham as well. Go short. Interesting decision from them, but it does go back wide again. Cross does eventually come in. It's punched away by Okonkwo. Was under a bit of pressure, the goalkeeper. The offside flag is up in the end.
Yeah, it was a tricky one for Okonkwo, because it was just hung up. And he had to come through a whole group of players to get anything on the ball, and it later transpired there were a couple of Bournemouth players, I think, who had strayed into offside positions. That can sometimes happen, can't it, Max, when you take a corner short, but you go as far back as Bournemouth did there. They almost back halfway inside the Arsenal half, allows Arsenal to step up, and then if you're not too sharp, once the ball's worked back in, if you're not moving up with the defence, it's then easy to be flagged offside.
The angles that Arsenal are playing when they're working the ball out from the back and using their extra man in midfield has been exemplary so far. Beerus now into the penalty area. There goes Swanson on the overlap. Straight across the face of goal. And there's a second goal for Arsenal. And it's Jack Henry-Francis, the man who started the move, actually, on the edge of his own penalty area. He was the Arsenal player exploiting the space. He's able to capitalise and be the poacher inside the area to make it Arsenal 2, Bournemouth 0.
Yeah, and Jack Henry-Francis really deserves that goal. So often, Max, you see him, don't you, on the edge of his own box, starting moves off. What you don't often see is him getting on the other end of them and finishing them. Again, I just want to highlight the role of Omari Hutchinson. It's his movement off the ball, finding that space between the lines. Lovely reverse ball in to Mika Beerith, who combined nicely with Swanson. It was a dangerous centre. The goalkeeper couldn't hold it. And Henry-Francis was on the spot and happy to tuck home. And I have to say, Max, I think Arsenal really warrant this 2-goal advantage. They've been excellent so far against a really experienced Bournemouth side.
Absolutely.
Now is with these 13 minutes left until half time, just to make sure that they go in at the break with this 2-goal advantage, because they really have been superb so far.
Well, Jack Henry Francis is his first goal for the 23s this season. Played a lot of under-18 football last season, 15 appearances for them, a goal and 3 assists. As Nick said, it's not often him that you see popping up in the areas that he did. But maybe he's adding that to his game as he grows in stature. I mentioned about him growing in stature. I remember him coming on for his non-competitive senior debut for Arsenal against Hibernian in pre-season. He was wearing almost like an extra large shirt. He's grown in stature since then. He'll be filling that one out for sure. It's great to see him growing in confidence as well. Arsenal, very good value for their 2-goal lead, but they do have a bit of defending to do. Another corner, this time from the left-hand side, to be delivered by Ben Greenwood. Headed not too far away at the near post, and from our angle it was very difficult to work out whether that one was goal bound as it got deflected through. In the end it does go out for a corner, and another opportunity for Ben Greenwood to deliver this one and perhaps clear the first man a lot more effectively. Time it is a towering header which takes it away from danger for Arsenal. There's Genesini. Whether he was lining up a shot or whether that was just a disguise. Bournemouth still in possession of the ball, and they do win the throw-in on the far side with Tariq Gidere. As mentioned in the build-up to this game, Bournemouth are just 1 point behind Arsenal. 3rd place in the group. They do have a game in hand, so a positive result for them here today would have meant that their remaining matches, they might have been the favourites to progress from this group stage. They're not making it easy for themselves as Flores picks it up in the box again. Eventually it's smothered clear. Only as far as Alex Kirk. Evades not 1 but 2 challenges to keep hold of the ball. Now Cottrell. Henry Francis, scorer of the 2nd goal for the young Gunners. Lopez back to Gungbo. Henry Francis again, this time a bit more direct. Plenty of pace on the balls. Even Swanson, though, fast as he is, probably won't get on the end of that one. Just chose to hold his run, let that one go all the way through to Will Dennis. 10 minutes left of this first half. Kevin Betsy, you imagine, Nick, will be very pleased with what he's seen so far.
Oh, for sure. I think Arsenal have been excellent at both ends of the pitch. They've managed to blunt Bournemouth's attack so far, and the way they've pressed the Cherries as well into making or losing possession countless times in dangerous areas. They have been relatively clinical. I actually think, Max, there might still be an opportunity here for a third. Marcelo Flores there almost had a chance a couple of minutes ago to add to his tally for the evening, but no, all in all, then Betsy will be really satisfied with what he's seen so far, and rightly so. It's been a really good performance from the whole team.
Zach Swanson's had another bright performance on this right-hand side. There he was again, looking away from a challenge, finding Alex Kirk. And Gungbo's clearance is chased down by Gidere. It'll be a throw-in for Arsenal. Interesting, isn't it? We talk about the Arsenal side having plenty of talent. Bournemouth as well. They've really done well in recent seasons, bringing the development players from this squad through to the first team. 7 of their development players have represented the first team this season, and we're only in January. Sadie, of course, being one of those. goal scorer of the dramatic equaliser in the reverse fixture between these two. Wearing number 9 tonight. He's been kept relatively quiet. In a few opportunities where he's got the ball on the edge of the box. Arsenal have doubled up on him and managed to block any shot. Here's Scrimshaw earning his side a corner.
Yeah, did well there, Jake Scrimshaw, who has played league football already. He was on loan at both Walsall and Newport County last season. Scored 5 goals in League Two. He's also played men's football for Poole Town, where he scored 17 goals in just 23 appearances. So one Arsenal have to keep an eye on from this corner.
Well, Conquo came a long way there. Managed to get enough on his punch, and Henry Francis will sweep up the rest. To Bieref on this near side. Lunging directly at the Bournemouth defence. Seemed to have caught a pretty sore one there on the follow-up from the challenge. Right to continue, though, as Joel Lopez can beat his man and find Zach Swanson on this near side. Amari Hutchinson's up there with him. Here is Hutchinson. Always looking to get it onto his left foot. Trying to clip in a floating ball. Flores it was again, who was hustling and harrying the defenders in the area. Now at the other end of the pitch, Scrimshaw, who's looking to do the same.
Once again there, Max, Arsenal playing out so confidently from the back.
Here's Swanson again on the overlap. Being able to run forward at will tonight. You wonder if he's going to play the full 90 minutes covering this amount of ground. I mean, probably talking about 13 kilometres at least from Zach Swanson tonight. He's been up and down throughout this entire first half. He's won his side yet another corner. Something a bit different from Arsenal as it's left. It was Swanson with the strike. Actually, watching that set-piece routine unfold, you do wonder whether Henry Francis could have taken that one in his stride. None of the Bournemouth players had matched his run. Instead, he opted to dummy it and leave it for Swanson. He couldn't direct his shot on target.
Yeah, just pulled across it a bit too much there, Zach Swanson. It did almost actually end up falling really nicely for Mzila Gungbo, but Arsenal once more with some variety to their set pieces. We've seen variety in their attack as well. Often Arsenal will look to play through you, but once again winning the ball in a dangerous area here.
It's clear, about as far away from Will Dennis's goal as possible. By Bournemouth, they won't want to concede a third. There's 5 minutes to go before half-time. There's Kirk across to Zakor. Been impressed with him actually this evening. As you mentioned, Nick, he hasn't had to do a lot, but everything that he has done, he's done very confidently. He's shown plenty of composure in possession.
Yeah, he's been good. I liked his distribution as well, Max. The yellow card there for the Bournemouth player. This time it's Ben Greenwood. I actually think the referee, had he just waited a second, Murray Hutchinson had got himself back to his feet and had carried on his dribble. As it is, it gives Arsenal a free kick in a dangerous position. It's a bit further out than where the first goal came, just 2 minutes or so into this game.
Well, what's interesting, Nick, is you look at the way that Bournemouth are lining up, and you can only see Marcelo Flores and Mika Bieref. And eventually, I think that's a Gungbo joining the attack. Arsenal go short with Swanson to Hutchinson. A step over from him. Bit too much power and a lack of direction on that cross. Interesting that they didn't commit too many players forward then, the Gunners. Opting to go short instead, trying to work an angle. Mixing up the set-piece routines though, which is good to see. Gibson Rossi out to Ben Greenwood. Saw plenty of the ball in the opening 15 or so minutes. We're seeing a bit less of him now as he's being called to a bit more of his defensive duties by Omari Hutchinson. Henry Francis receiving the ball under plenty of pressure. Swanson again, Arsenal beating the press so well, and look who it is here, the centre-back, Zach Orr, carrying it out from right wing almost. Crunching challenge on him, it's a fair one before Ben Cottrell flashed into Brennan Camp. It's incredible just to see how advanced Zach Orr was when he received the ball then.
Yeah, and again, it all came from that patient build-up play. Arsenal trusting each other when playing out from their own penalty area. Something we used to see from Chris Wilder when he was at Sheffield United, this notion of kind of overlapping centre halves. And on that occasion, it was Zach Orr who joined the attack, and I think had he managed to beat that tackle, Max, he would definitely have got a shot away. Fortunately for him, his run was brought to an end just before he was able to get into that shooting position. That's another risky pass from Bournemouth, and Wadham does well to retain possession for them.
Yeah, Wadham under a lot of pressure, did very well, the central midfielder. Arsenal win the ball back again, only temporarily though. And Jake Scrimshaw wins himself a free kick as he threatened to get away on the counter-attack. It's Mazida Gungbo who's being called over by tonight's referee, Savassiani, and that is the game's second yellow card, the first yellow card to be shown to an Arsenal player. So Mazida Gungbo in the book. Rather cynical challenge on Jake Scrimshaw. Can't have any arguments there. Henry Francis into Gungbo. Now Orr. It's the final few seconds of this first half tick down. Kirk. Again, the option is Henry Francis in the deep-lying midfield area. There's going to be 1 minute added on at the end of this first half. When Arsenal just happy to kill a bit of time, although Okonkwo took a bit of a risk there. Worked out in Arsenal's favour. Here's Flores. Henry Francis turning into danger, and Christian Sadie has an opportunity to carry it forward for Bournemouth. Roberts on the left-hand side, Greenwood on the overlap again. Roberts instead standing up his man. And Sadie, quick feet to get away from Ben Cottrell. Cottrell's well placed to intercept the cross. And Arsenal again can bring it out of danger. Lopez, is there an opportunity or is there enough time for Arsenal to get forward once more in this first half as they seek a third goal? Well, Bieref might be in here. He takes it away from the goalkeeper, fires towards goal. Austin Rossi did just enough to take the sting out of the ball and prevent Arsenal from getting a third at the end of what's been a very dominant first half for the Gunners. First of all, it was Marcelo Flores who opened the scoring inside the opening 2 minutes after Bournemouth had failed to clear a set piece. And Jack Henry Francis started the move from inside his own box and then was able to get on the end of a sublime passing combination to finish from inside the 6-yard box. Well, Nick, they head in for half-time. What do you think Betsy will want to see from his side in the second half? More of the same? It's been a very effective performance from the Gunners.
Absolutely, Max. Yeah, I think it will very much just be a message of keep your concentration levels up, keep doing what you've been doing. Arsenal have been so precise in possession. They've looked so calm, so assured when playing out from the back. And because they've done it so well, so effectively, it's given the likes of Hutchinson and Flores that space further up the pitch. But also, as we've seen throughout the first half as well, even the centre halves like Zach